from Alpus Group, and I'm just going to talk to you today about our five-step property development course, particularly in the context of commercial to residential conversions. So this is the five-step property development success process. Firstly, we identify suspect or prospect sites. So these are a long list of things that some of which just won't stack up. So we need to identify those sites that stand a chance of proving a feasible project, that is, to improve and sell for profit from after the original purchase. One of the early factors is to identify do permitted development rights apply on this particular project. Some of the projects may need planning permission, and so we look on these as a much higher risk because of the broken system in the UK and the uncertainty about just what conditions you may get put on a development after you put it through the planning system. If you have permitted development rights applicable on a particular building, provided it meets the criteria, there should be no reason that you can't get the sanction from the local authority to carry out that permitted development. So second stage is, having identified prospects from a long list of suspect sites, we can then prove the feasibility based on a preliminary design. So this would involve doing some layouts and essentially costing up those layouts and doing calculations to assess the purchase price of the site, adding on the legal costs, stamp duty, etc., to acquire the site, the design and construction costs, and then assuming a margin of 25% plus to get to a gross development value, which you need to ratify with the prices sold in the area that you're looking in. So essentially there's no risk in this, it's a lot of calculation, and if there are risks, you need to allow contingency amounts to cover for the mitigation of those risks. For example, if there needs to be a major services diversion carried out on a site, then you need to allow a lot of money for this, and a lot of time as well, because depending on the utility company involved, it can take a lot of time and be enormously expensive carrying out services diversions. So step 3 is the acquisition of the property. You've established that your suspect site is feasible and you want to put in an offer on it. And now, if it's got permitted development rights, you could go ahead and purchase the site straight away, or alternatively you could take out an option to purchase subject to planning permission if it needs planning permission on the site. So we would take the cautious view of purchasing only if we're absolutely certain we've got permitted development rights on the site. We may purchase subject to planning permission as an option if it's not under permitted development rights. So step 4 is sales and marketing, and we would get on with this activity at a very early stage. As soon as we have permission to carry out the development, whatever it is, we'd start to look at sales and marketing and how we can actually exit the site, and if possible to make off-plan sales, so that we've got less risk, we've got certainty of cash flow. And step 5 is the detailed design and construction, which is the process of converting from its current use into the new higher value use. And this involves the expending of a lot of resources, time and cost labour, materials, plant, etc. In this transformation, and this is also a high-risk process, and what we do is by using tried and tested contractors and subcontractors and tried and tested designers, we actually minimize these risks. So this is about step one: how do we acquire sites? And we do this by letter writing campaigns, direct to vendor. We've got a network of sources all over the UK. We get some leads from commercial agents. We carry out negotiations with property owners. We can carry out purchase lease options to acquire property which we would subsequently develop. And we can lease properties until we exercise an option to buy, or we can, an alternative approach is to exchange contracts with delayed completion. This is an example project that we converted from a listed building into luxury accommodation in Hyde Park. 18 luxury flats operated as serviced accommodation extremely profitably for many years. So it's clear that good design matters, and so does good quality construction, all of which needs a lot of organisation and management, and that's why you need to allocate the responsibilities for design, for quality assurance and control, for health and safety to the members of your team. Clearly, when you look at the number of specialists involved in a construction project, that takes quite a bit of organisation, so you need to set it up in the most appropriate manner. This is a book that I wrote about my experience of managing large projects during my career, and in the book I identified 20 key factors for project success. These are the 20 key factors. We won't necessarily go through them all now, but if you get some of these wrong, you can get away with it. But if you start to get more than a few wrong, then you could have big problems with the success of your project. So this is the property development success course, where we go through over 8 weeks the following modules. Module 1 is how to identify sites, suspects and prospects, and go from a long list down to a short list. Module 2 is the preliminary design and feasibility. This is proving the feasibility of any chosen site. Module 3 is funding and cash flow, because that's essential to carrying out property development. Module 4 is site acquisition and planning approval, and in this we look at the permitted development rights and those projects that qualify. Module 5 is marketing and sales. As I mentioned, we would want to get on to this activity as early as possible. And Module 6 is detailed design and construction. All the nitty-gritty of organising designers, specialists, contractors and so on, and how to carry out the most appropriate contracting strategy to deliver your project successfully. Module 7 is about system building, so this is about modular construction and off-site construction in the factory, because that's where the best quality control can be organised. Module 8 is management and control systems, so these are the sort of essential management systems that you need for any project. So that's the contents of the course. This is our contact details. I'm Alan from Alpus Group, and my phone number is +44 333 224 1257 or +44 7539 141257. My email is alan@alpusgroup.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Cheers.